Hey everyone, Carrie Beck here with Family eBiz, where we help families start and scale online businesses so you can find the freedom to do the things that are important to you. And that is really what our topic is all about today. And I am so excited about sharing this with you. Before I dive into our topic of buying back our time, getting more time back for us to do the right activities, please subscribe to this channel. That would mean the world to me. If there's a place to leave a review, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review. That would be awesome. So, today, what we're going to do is I'm going to begin a podcast series that will be 2 or 3 weeks. And it is all going to be based on this particular book, Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. Looking to see where his name was, making sure I got the right name. My nephew told me about this at Thanksgiving. And so I came home and ordered it, but it's just been sitting there. I had other books I was reading. And last weekend, I didn't have any. I had books all over the house, but I was like, there wasn't a particular one I was waiting to read, and it was sitting right there. So I started reading it, I think Sunday morning, and I was a little not sure if this would really be helpful to me. And I will tell you why. I'm a pretty organized person. I can focus. Now, I can get unfocused too, but I use my time wisely. I take breaks. I do all the things the time management people, I've taught people about it. But when I read this book, there was something in my mindset that shifted. It's stuff I had heard before, but I think I was just at this point that I'm thinking, yes, this is the time, Carrie. So let me share a little bit about it, see if you can relate. Let me tell you a couple reasons some people don't want to follow what he is encouraging. And then I'm going to give you an assignment for you to work on if you want to do this and if you truly want to buy back your time. So, I don't know about you, but sometimes we are drowning in our business. We are in the business instead of working on the business. In fact, I was on a mastermind call just a few days ago, and that's exactly where one of our members was. And, there are time periods that we dive deep and we know we're going to have to work hard. But if it is month after month after month, that's too much. Like for me, in our homeschool world, in a week and a half, I have my annual event. So I know that particular week is going to be busy and the weekend before, even though don't ask me why, I'll be out of town at our granddaughter's dedication, but that's the way life is. But that week, this next week, actually before I leave, I am going to be working hard, long hours probably. But afterwards, I will start to take a break and relax and then get back into my regular routine. Are you drowning in your work? No matter how organized you are, no matter how focused you are, it is just too much. All of that to-do list just never ends, and you can never get rid of all of it. Maybe you don't have, or do you have time to do what matters most? That's what Family eBiz is all about, helping you create freedom in your life, freedom for whatever it is that is important to you. Do you spend time doing what's important to you? Do you spend time with your family? Do you spend time working out? Do you spend time traveling or doing hobbies or whatever it is that you enjoy? If not, you need to consider buying back your time. All right. Some reactions when we are so overwhelmed are this. I see. Number one, and this comes from Dan. I use some different words. Procrastination. We just keep putting it off and putting it off. One, we may not believe it's really going to work, but two, if I just put it off and put it off, I can at least have an excuse and I can maybe take some things off my shoulders. That doesn't really work if you want to know the truth. Or some of you are at the point, maybe I should just sell my business, just step away and get out of it. Others of you actually sabotage the projects that you're in. And you're like, well, that just didn't work. And I shouldn't have spent all my time. And it's that little pity party, that type of thing. He goes into these areas in a lot more detail. I do highly recommend the book. I do have a link in your show notes. It is an affiliate link. I would appreciate it if you would use that. That would mean a lot to me. But let's talk about fixing this problem so that in your business, you're spending time on the right activities and you have time for the things that are important to you. And there's three steps. We're going to audit, we're going to transfer, and then we're going to fill. What I mean by audit, you're going to audit how you spend your time. And this is my little assignment to you. And I started this. I mean, I read business books, but I don't always like put it right into practice. But I started this on Monday and I started reading the book, actually finished it in 2 days. That's how much it meant. This is my time audit. Okay, so nothing fancy. We can get a printout or you can do it online. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And every time I changed the big major task, I wrote it down. I will go back after, well, probably after a week and then 2 weeks, probably after a week, just to see if I notice anything. And he's got some tips. We'll talk about those next week. But anyway, I've got a time where I'm spending all my time. And one thing I will say I notice, confession, is I work 25 minutes, take a 5 minute break. But in this season of life, for a couple of months, my son's fiance is living with me and he's here in and out of town off and on. So when I take my 5 minute break and come down, it sometimes turns into 15. So I realize now that's a temporary thing, but still, maybe that happens to you. You take that 5 minute break and it's not really 5 minutes, it's a lot longer. So I was like, oh, wow, I think here it says talk. I spent 15 minutes from 9:05 to 9:20 on Monday visiting when I came down to get my coffee. So this is what we're going to audit and see where we're spending our time. Then we are going to transfer. We're going to find some of these activities that you don't need to be doing and transfer them to someone else. The number one thing I'm going to tell you is your email. If you are in your email all day long, that is bad. I've already talked to y'all about this. Email should be checked once or twice a day. Sometimes I don't even check it, but I have someone that is checking it. I transferred it to Ross. And so he takes care of it, puts things in folders. So I can only look at the things that I need to do. So that is what, but obviously we have to train. There's a lot of steps to get to there. But do you see, you audit, you find, I would say find you one thing that you want to transfer to someone else. And yes, it's going to cost money. But there are people, you can go to Upwork and get some people at very inexpensive price, or it depends on what you want. But even if you just had, let's say you had $25 a week to spend, and that is $5 a week that you could pay. No, I'm sorry, $25, $20 a month. You could pay someone $5, well, maybe more, $10 a week, $40 a month, just to get through that inbox and reply to things and take care of customer service things and all of that. That would free you up so much time. I guarantee it. That was the number one thing. And I am still, as I think about this, thinking of ways I can transfer more emails and other things like that. Scheduling social media. You don't need to be spending or wasting your time scheduling social media. Hand that off even to a teenager. Maybe find an intern or that you could use. So there are a lot of ways you can do it. Paid, or I don't want to ever take advantage of people. We paid our kids very well to do some of those activities, but you want to take an audit, then we're going to transfer. Well, if we take things out of our schedule, what does that do? It leaves whole. You're going to fill it with the things that are most important. For me, that is marketing. Eventually, maybe I'll get off, I will transfer marketing. But for me, that is writing my emails. That is checking my Facebook ads and creating new or increasing. I make those financial decisions. That is keeping the marketing calendar and promotions and networking, building partnerships. There's a lot more, but those are things I can do well. Those are things that actually light me up. I enjoy doing those. So hopefully you can get rid of the things that are painful, that you're drowning in, that you want to get rid of, transfer them and fill things that light you up or things that are important to you. And hopefully the important things light you up too. So we want to audit, transfer, fill. So I'm going to encourage you for the next 2 weeks to keep a time audit. Really, 15, 30 minutes. You don't really need to do it. And I will go back because some of these are a whole hour, but I'm going to transfer this into a spreadsheet and then be able to sort of highlight the different categories and where I spent my most time. Where are you spending time that does not let you do what you're an expert at? Where are you wasting time? Where are you stuck and you can hand this off to someone? And if you hand it off to someone that knows it, like social media, they're going to do it quicker and they're going to enjoy it probably more than you do. The the end goal is not just to make a list, but to transfer the things that you're drowning in and fill the things, your calendar with things that are important to you. And this does include family. You want to make sure that you are spending time. And if you write down from morning to night, then you might be surprised about the things that you're spending time. Maybe you're spending way too much time away from business. Maybe you're not spending enough time with your family. So look at that and see what those results are. Now, next week we will be talking about how do we find someone, and some of you are saying, I can't afford it, or they're not going to do a good enough job. You hang with me. Next week we're going to start with those two things. I can't afford it. They're not going to do it good enough because it's not me. Those are two objections that Dan covered, and I'm going to share those with you as well. I highly encourage you, go grab a copy of this book. It will, even if you know it all, I think it will inspire you and get your mindset back on really growing a business. Hey, thanks so much for spending time with me. I'm Carrie Beck with Family eBiz. We'll talk to you next time.